So I wonder if people are going to come out and start complaining that these TikTok people make too much money in the same way that they always complain that CEOs make too much money.
Yeah, you think it'd be coming for sure.
It won't though, because there's always that the argument you always hear from everybody is, well, what about sports players? And you're
Right.
like, I'm like, what about sports players? And it's always like, let's pick out the one super outlier, one of none in the world. Let's pick LeBron James or Tom Brady. These people, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but there's, as of right now, in this world, there's one LeBron James. So if you can find, how many people are even in the NBA? 300, 400, 500.
Yeah, I think so.
If you could find like 250 LeBron James, I bet his salary comes down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's not. So this is how it goes. And, you know, I own a handful of executive search companies. We place executives all around the world. We own a career planning, resume writing, outplacement company. We work with careers all day. You know that the people who are in high demand, that got the most skills, make the most money, right?
Mm.
So that's why I think sometimes you look at CEO pay and it is ridiculous. But then we start looking at sports players, TikTok stars. Like you could make the argument that the CEO at least adds some value to the world. Now
Hmm.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of terrible CEOs out there that are probably doing harm to the world too. But you can at least say, okay, I understand that there's some value added. What value are the TikTok stars adding to the world other than entertainment? Which it's debatable. That is this debatable? They just came out and said like social media is terrible for us. So we're getting paid a bunch of money to destroy the world. Why is that any better than the CEO that makes $20 million?
Yeah. I would have actually like also added like the skill component, but then I there's probably a lot of skill in becoming a TikTok influencer too. Not to discount what it takes to do that, but I feel like it's probably a lot more pressure too to be a CEO. I don't know.
You would assume there's probably more pressure to run Goldman Sachs, right?
Yeah.
Um, but again, I think even on the TikTok side, it's there's not, a lot of these people are extremely funny. Some of them are, you know, the it girl, the it guy, like the beautiful people. Like there's only so many of those people.
Yeah.
There's
Good
people
point.
that are they're extremely talented that might be doing other things, music, but they're like in that top 1% of the top 1% of everything, of being funny, of being beautiful, of some kind of talent. Same thing with going back to uh, CEO of Goldman Sachs or LeBron James or Tom Brady. Like we're looking at the 1% of the 1%. So you can see why they would be the top earners, because it's just not that easy to do what they do.
Yeah.
Um, it just comes down to we want to complain about CEOs all the time because we hate all things greedy corporation, but we won't go look at people that get paid as much as the CEOs that are actually. I don't know. I'm not. Who knows who we're even talking about here? But based on reports, social media is kind of destroying the world, and people are making an f ton of money on it. So why aren't we
Yeah.
complaining about these people? We don't. What we do is we go watch more of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true.
Um, but it's entertainment, right? This this is like Hollywood. At the end of the day, it's uh it's no different than when Tom Cruise was coming up, or it's just entertainment. We're just getting it online. They're a different kind of celebrity.
Yeah. That's true. These are the
And
movie stars of today kind of thing.
these are the movie stars of today. So it's it's unfortunate. You and I talked about this a few times. That report that was in the UK when they asked young boys, "When you want to be when you grow up?" And it's you're hoping they say like a firefighter or a doctor, and like we all hope they don't say lawyer because we don't need any more goddamn lawyers in this world. Um, but something that's like gonna make the world a safer or better place. And yeah, they don't say that. They say I want to be a YouTuber, and it's like we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But it's like, why not though, Kane? Do you want to run a company right now and dealing with all this craziness in this world, or do you want to like squirt mustard in your eyes and say silly things and make $11 million?
Hmm. It's a tough decision.
Ship me a bottle of Grey Poupon. Let's go. Like, I'll
Oh
do it right
dear.
now. I'll do some of that spicy deli brown mustard in my. It's when you think about it, it's like you get to kind of screw around and have fun and make millions. And then you start the one Jenner who like parlayed that celebrity into like CPG products and launching other brands and other companies. Like there's a lot of money to be made off of this. It's just, are we further ahead as a society in 2 decades?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess you really hit on an important point there, which is we as society like to hammer on corporations and CEOs saying that they're overpaid, and then we will typically point to the externalities, the negative externalities, right? And like you said, the greedy corporation, et cetera, et cetera. I do, or I am curious to see if we start to point to how, I'm looking at the screen right now. So Charlie, Dixie, D'Amelio, and these people, like, do they contribute to the negative externalities of social media? And when will we start to actually talk about that kind of stuff, considering that they make millions and millions and millions of dollars to do this? So it's an interesting question.
I mean, who knows? It's one of those things that they're on the top of their field and they're going to get CEO paid just like sports players do, right?
Yeah, right.
Um, I just don't know where we go from here. So I think in the same way you can say, well, the CEO takes away money from the workers, and they can say the social media people aren't taking money away from nobody. But let's just say if you're on YouTube and you're making a bunch of money on YouTube, that's almost like YouTube's your employer, but you're taking money away from some other channel, right? If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah,
if it's what we want to believe, then it's okay. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad or right and wrong. We just know that if you make too much money in the corporate world, you're bad. And if you do it in any other fashion, like I can go buy a tire, a burning tire NFT and flip it and make $100 million, and everyone's like, cool. And if you're a CEO that's running a $10 billion company with 100,000 employees in 7 countries and you get paid 25 million, you're an asshole. Like that's just the world we live in. So I don't, their companies do suck. I just think that things have gotten so big. Apple's like 3 trillion or something on market cap, or I don't. Is that correct? If I recall.
yeah, correct. Yeah.
That the air is getting thinner and thinner and thinner to try to find people to run these things because they're just these juggernauts. And with that is when you're one of 5 people in the world that can run a $3 trillion company, you better get your checkbook, guys. It's one of those like gigantic checks they show up at your house with, the sweepstakes checks.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah.
big a check you're going to need to find someone to go run a $3 trillion company. And there's just, as much as there's like 8 billion people in this world, there's only a handful that could go do that. So, yeah. The thing is, I think over time, are we not going to get diluted with TikTok stars and social media stars and social media influencers to where there's more of them than there is people? Okay, how much time in a day do you have to watch influencers on social media?
0.
Well, you're a different beast. But if you got like 10 people you enjoy listening to, do you have time for 100?
Oh,
So
right. No, yeah, that's true. That's true. Actually, that's a really important point too, James, because the we look at we hold these people up on pedestals, right? So as a kid, that study you brought up in the UK, I think is pivotal here, because okay, we can go shoot to be a CEO and aim to be a CEO and still make a decent living trying to chase that ladder, right? Like going through, a corporation or whatever, you can have a nice living and you can do very well for yourself. If you if we spend too much time chasing becoming a millionaire influencer, I think the winnings are too concentrated up at the top. And what does that mean for society if boys in the UK want to become influencers versus actually pursue something that can actually make them a decent living? We're going to lose so much productivity as a society if people do end up just chasing these avenues to make money.
I mean, we're there now. We got this massive worker shortage going on.
100%.
Like people already don't want to work. I don't want to work these crappy jobs, and it's reoccurring theme on this channel. But to me, like any job that pays your bills and feeds your kids ain't a crappy job. But we now I know we're going to do another episode here in a minute about if you make 130,000, you got to make 130,000 a year now to be happy. And I'm guessing the gist of that episode is going to be, we just have shifted what we think is good. Because I think something like if you have a roof over your head, any kind of roof in a car, you're in the top 15% of the world. Yet we're now saying you got to make 130 to live a decent life. It's our expectations of what like middle class is and what we consider poverty has shifted so much. Poverty now includes a 52-inch LCD TV.
Correct. That's true.
Things and that's not a bad thing, right? Everyone's kind of getting better. The bar's getting raised. It's just getting raising faster for some others. But we'll come back to that one. But it's funny on getting on this topic. It's like the influencers in general. I had someone on Instagram send me, and me, I'm gonna snap back at them, but they sent me a message, something like one of my posts was stupid. And I post mostly stuff I write that came from books I worked on or other writings, and it's, and I just I looked at their profile and it's all just them like half naked. Just like I'm trying to become an influencer or celebrity because of my body type of thing. Dudes do it, women do it, everyone's doing it, right? They're trying to just get the likes for their body and whatever. That's cool. But I wrote back, I'm like, don't get pissed off that I get more likes on my writings than you do on your photos. And they didn't like that so much. But it's one of those things that we live in a world where we can just, a guy can, just get a 10-pack of abs and start posting photos and get 10,000 followers. It's like, well, where does that really take us?
Yeah.
And that's cool. Maybe you're trying to become a model. Maybe there's some other things you're trying to do, become an actor. I get it. But we're the social media is so full of that, and then that kind of parlays into, funny videos, comedy, a lot of stupid videos, to be honest. Like we're just doing stupid stuff to do stupid stuff so we can try to get some likes. All I can think of is when I was growing up, who had time for this crap? Like we got no money, rent's due, car payments due, car insurance due. We would have time to sit around and like, let's go film myself doing a backflip in the middle of an intersection. Like, what? Is that not a sign we have too much free time on our hands?
Well, they're called influencers because they influence culture, society, right? Like your 52-inch monitor reference, I think the bar only gets raised to that level in terms of whatever, like lifestyle, because we see it all the time, right? Like if you really think about it objectively, that it's an unnecessary part of, you'd be fine with a 40-inch television, but we see it all the time from these influencers, and then therefore the bar gets raised. And so it's all tied together, I think, in terms of what we think we need and then how much we need to pay for what we need. Like it's all tied together.
I just think it's one of those things that used to be bad enough where if you lived in a neighborhood, it was like keeping up with the Joneses, and you compete with friends and family and the people on your block. Now it's like you just open up your phone and you got an unlimited supply of people you're competing with.
Mm.
Like, look at me at this vacation. Look at this new car. Look at this. Look at like and it's not just the people on your block. It's from people all over the world. And it's like, well, this is where you can see it's very detrimental to society in that sense.
Yeah.
Because we start thinking, I need that. I want that. I deserve that. And then, yeah, here we are, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
crazy times. And the algorithm will keep serving you that, which is a whole other problem. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm gonna stay off of TikTok because, yes.
Agreed.
And, I mean, I'm never gonna hate on no one for making money. It comes down to it. I don't care if TikTokers are making 10 million. If one of the Paul brothers wants to get in the ring and get knocked out, I'll throw $99 on a pay-per-view for that. Which I would still love to see the Paul brothers versus the Diaz brothers. UFC make that happen. But I don't hate on people for making money. Go make money and live your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's you do start to get concerned though when it's like, well, where are we going? And unfortunately, we're about to find out. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'll catch you.
Sounds good.